Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out QBert Rebooted. Oh man, here we go. So, this game has been split into two halves and finally, oh, you can use the button control in here. Didn't think you could use the button control, that was a bit odd. But anyway, it gives you one little silly about screen that shows you the direction the controls work. So, we're gonna hop into QBert Classic for a couple of games, because dying in this game is very easy and very quick. And then we'll move on to QBert Rebooted. This is a pretty decent, like, I guess it's an emulation of the arcade game. Not entirely sure if it is or it isn't. Might just be a recreation. Would be a very decent recreation. I haven't actually played the arcade game myself, but, you know, this definitely has the sort of 90s spin about it. And it's very... well, 80s spin about it, I think. QBert was around in the 80s, not the 90s. Alright, so the idea of QBert is that you are the orange bastard and you have to go around these... God damn it. You have to go around these levels that are comprised of these pyramids of blocks. And you have to turn each of them from one colour to another colour by stepping on them at least once. And you've got stuff coming after you the entire time. And God damn it, I almost got crushed by that. That's always something I end up doing. But yeah, the idea is the game works on a dimensional playfield, so you have to be moving your analog stick or D-pad to the top left, top right, bottom left, or bottom right in order to get anything done. However, both of these methods have their issues. So you've got the D-pad, which is extremely precise. In fact, it's so precise that if you do not press the two directions you want to go at exactly the same time, the game will probably either lock up or you'll be thrown off an edge. And that can be a massive problem. But you know what can also be a massive problem? Using the analog stick and having absolutely no feedback and making sure that the direction you're actually going is the right one. So you might end up snapping back when your thumb comes to rest after moving in a specific direction. And you might end up throwing yourself off an edge. It is one of the most frustrating sets of controls I have ever seen. It's not that apparent when it... God damn it, that was a mistake. It's not that apparent when you're playing just classic QBert, but when we get onto QBert Reloaded, the problem is going to get a whole lot worse, and you'll see why. But yeah, this is just how this game progresses, basically. It's the same sort of stage over and over again. I imagine it... bollocks. And that's game over. I imagine it gets the stages vary up a bit, because I mean, they vary up a bit in Rebooted. I imagine they vary up a bit when you go on, but... yeah, it's a very hard arcade game, I'll say that much. And, well, it's totally not worth $10 on its own, so let's see how QBert Rebooted does. Now, after playing QBert Classic, what do you expect when you go to QBert Rebooted for the first time? Tell you what I didn't bloody expect. Well, after this silly intro screen, which I really don't know why they have here, why not just skip this and go straight onto the... anytime now, please. Come on. There we go. Weren't expecting a 3-star mobile game system, were ya? I mean, I don't know what I was expecting, but come the fuck on. That's not what I was expecting. But anyway, let's go on to a level in QBert Rebooted. It's pretty much the same thing, honestly. Except worse. And I don't know how they managed to make it worse in an arcade game from the 80s. But we'll get into that. If we just give it a minute to load, these loading times are egregious at best. It's not even moving. I don't know if the game's crashed or not. I can just hear this surprisingly unenjoyable music. This would really get on my nerves after a bit. And there's no audio options, so can't turn it off. Can't turn off the hopping sound either. That'll get on your nerves after a while as well. But anyway, finally, here we are. So... this is QBert Rebooted. It looks about the same, doesn't it? Yep, and down I go. So, those control problems I was talking about back when I was playing QBert Original, yeah, about twice as bad here. Because they've decided that they'll let you move in all 8 directions now, which is great. Unfortunately, they've made it so that... bollocks. Bloody thumb. Unfortunately, they've made it so that it's surprisingly easy to... actually make a mistake in what direction you're moving, so you might end up throwing yourself off the edge again and again after you spawn. I don't know what the difference is between QBert Classic and QBert Rebooted. It's just a lot harder to judge what direction you're going in. And as I said before, I'm going to swap to the D-pad now. If you don't press both directions at exactly the same time, if you are even a millisecond late, you will go in the wrong direction, guaranteed. It is infuriating. Absolutely infuriating. Oh god, I want to... whoever made this control scheme was probably thinking about the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 versions of this game, which you do get via cross-buy. Since the analog stick has a whole lot bigger range of movement on those controllers, fuck me, considering they have a much larger range of movement, it's a lot easier to tell what direction you're moving the analog stick in. Here, you don't have that big of a window, and they didn't adjust the game to compensate for it, and this just makes it the most infuriating thing ever. You have to be so careful and precise when planning out your moves. It is the most infuriating thing you could possibly... God damn it! God damn it! And the funny thing is they have weird touchscreen controls for things that you might not expect. Try to move using the touchscreen though, and it actually works. And then I tap a hexagon and I jump into blank space. Yeah, that doesn't even fucking work. How do you fuck up a touchscreen movement set? What? How? Why? The whole game is just a bit laggy and crap as well. Every time like a gem spawns in, watch the game very closely and you'll notice that it lags every single time a gem spawns in, so you might end up going in the wrong direction without realizing it. Oh man, it makes me want to choke a bitch. Wow. Every control scheme they could possibly imagine they managed to fuck up somehow. I don't even know. The loading times are egregious, and it's not that great of a looker either. I mean, look at it. Look at it closely. It's just so cartoonishly generic, and yet QBert looks so defeated. He looks like the sort of cartoon mascot that you don't want to bring back. He's like Sonic if Sonic was a depressed bastard. Yeah. The touch controls seem to work, but Jesus Christ, this would be painful after, like, a minute. I can't even imagine. And you know what the annoying thing about this whole, like, stage 3-star system is? You can't even earn all 3 stars on one run. You have to keep going back, and they only unlock 1 star every single time. So, you have to go back and play every stage at least 3 times. So you'll be playing the same boring stages over and over again. I've played up to stage 8, as you can see, and that took me about half an hour. And I put 15 minutes into the arcade version of QBert, and I just... oh god, it's so boring. It's so unbelievably boring. It's literally just this, just wander around, try and avoid everything that comes down, even though half the time it's probably not going to come in your direction anyway. At least QBert Arcade is a lot more interesting, because they send a lot more down after you at once. Meanwhile, this game takes ages just to get anywhere. And at the end of a regular level set, you get access to a bonus level. And you just have to find the best way to get through it. Can't get everything at once, obviously, because that would be a bit too much. But you collect gems, and these gems, once you have enough of them, you can go and buy a character skin. We'll go and try and buy a character skin. I don't even know if I have enough. It took me a lot of effort to tap that, and I managed to tap it 3 times. Alright, so yeah, there's character skins. You got the Q-Wizard, you got Q-Bertha, which is a odd thing. Q-Bot, Q-Zilla, Q-T, Q-Knight, Q-Unicorn, and Q-1000. Not entirely sure if these are referencing everything. I know exactly what the Q-1000 is referencing, but I'm not entirely sure if anything else is being referenced. So we'll just buy Q-Zaro. Q-Zaro? I don't even know. I don't even care. We'll go play like level 6 or something, because Level 6, I always have massive troubles with, like, the sort of levels with thin pathways because of the way the controls work. They really should have offered a demo or something. Also, these objectives are boring as sin. Why don't they introduce something different, like no discs, or do the entire level on one life? That would be fucking torture. It's always, at least in the 8 levels that I've played so far, it's always finish the level at a time limit, finish the level with X amount of score. Just, no. Boring. This is only after half an hour, it might get better, but seriously, I could not care less. Let's try using the touchscreen for this. God, the game's already taken a hit to its performance. Also, that background is so just dull. That's a screensaver background. That isn't a background you put in the back of a game. I guess it's to keep you from being distracted by absolutely everything else, but I mean, come on. If you get distracted by this, you really need to be put in a home stuff. God damn it. Down, down, down. It would just be boring if the control sets weren't so infuriating. That's kind of a pretty big red mark against it, I have to say that much. God, it's hard to stay on the move when you're using the touchscreen. So much trouble for some reason, and I am screwed. Yeah, the technical performance isn't great either. The frame rate does drop a bit. At least QBert doesn't seem to drop, but I mean, jeez. How badly do you have to screw up an arcade game from the 80s to make it drop frames? That's something I've never heard of before. Anyway, that was a quick look at QBert Rebooted. It's available for like, I don't know, $7 right now. Original price is like 10, but you get it for 7 if you're on PlayStation Plus. It's not worth it, really. The control sets are infuriating. It doesn't look great, it doesn't sound great, and it's an arcade game from the 80s, so it's probably not going to be worth $10 in its rebooted or its classic form. And QBert Rebooted being like a mobile game really threw me off a bit. That was a bit odd, but yeah, I mean, come on, you're telling me you didn't... It is something you really need to play to understand just how infuriating the controls can be when they decide to be precise. Oh, God, I just want to throw it out a window. Not worth your money. Really not. This has been Blue Maxima, and I'll see you all next time.